What's up, Giants Nation? One Giant Rebuttal back with another video. And I'm going to quickly rebuttal Vince. And I'm not going to so much rebuttal him on the Titans game and the Eli Manning's stuff he had to say in his video. It's the Kyle Lautella stuff that bothers me. Okay? And it's going to tie in a little bit to Eli Manning. Largely, I'm just going to quickly go over the Titans game. I know I said I wasn't going to rebuttal it, but I just changed my mind in a split second. You can't give credit to the defense. Sorry, bro. Defense didn't play well. Offense didn't play well. They weren't playing complementary football. You can't give up 200 yards on the ground, even though the Tennessee Titans only scored 17 points. Derrick Henry ran roughshod on this team, and that cannot happen. I don't care how big and how quick Derrick Henry is. That's just not simply something this team can allow. Okay? And Eli Manning didn't play well, and he deserves a good portion of the criticism. But when you're not going to criticize the whole team as a whole, even though no aspect of the team played well. Hell, Riley Dixon didn't even play well. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's be fair. But what made me want to rebuttal you was the Kyle Lautella comment. Let's break it down. Let's take it piece by piece. Let's add some context, like you like to say. Let's add some perspective. Okay? Because, yes, he was a fourth round draft pick. So it means you have a ton to prove. Correct? Fair in saying that? Yeah. 2. The arrest that was horrible. That was a horrible look on him. Why? Because he was running late to practice. Which also tells me this is probably not the first time he did that. And as a quarterback, you have to be the first one in, the last one out. Maybe you don't believe that. Maybe you don't think that's fair criticism. I do. The Redskins game showed you nothing. 0 for 5 and an interception, directly leading to points. And maybe it's not fair to judge somebody on 5 passes, but we'll quickly judge Nathan Peterman after a couple starts. So what's 5 passes, really? And then on top of that, you're like, well, why are we so quick to judge this kid, and yet we don't do that to Eli? Because as much as you don't want to hear this, and maybe you don't think this is fair, and maybe you're holding your quarterback to a higher standard, but this is just the way life is. Anytime you've been with an organization, as long as Eli has, he's bought himself a lot of rope. And this happens not only in football, this happens in life. Okay? I'm an electrician. I've been an electrician for a couple companies. The company I'm at now, the guys that are most respected in my company have been there for over 30 years. And I might not always agree with their decisions, but at the end of the day, they've bought himself enough rope where I better listen to everything they have to say. And that same for the Giants. Eli Manning has bought himself enough rope. It doesn't really, yes, he isn't playing up to par. But what part of the team is? I could understand, you would have a legit argument in your video if the Giants were playing a lights out defense, they were running the ball well, and Eli Manning was just turning the ball over and just making stupid decisions and just not playing well. Not playing any sort of complementary football. You'd have a legit argument, but you have none. Eli Manning's not playing well, but neither is this team because they don't play complementary football consistently. And that goes back to Kyle Lautella. Because you act like, this meritocracy. No, it's not a meritocracy. Eli Manning's been in this league for 15 years, and he's bought himself a lot of slack. And Kyle Lautella isn't picking it up, and he's not doing what he needs to do to earn a start. You have to earn that right. And clearly the Giants don't think that. Okay? Just because he's a fourth round draft pick and Eli Manning is on his way out, oh, that means it what? Okay, here you go. We're gonna see what you have. That's not the way life works. He hasn't earned it. And we don't even you don't even talk about how the fact that we don't even know how he's progressing in practice. Has he made that big jump from the preseason until now? Because you have to consistently get better throughout the season, especially if you're your rookie quarterback waiting for your turn. And on top of that, now obviously your name is Big Blue and Bias, but were you pounding the table for Patrick Mahomes to play last year in KC? No. Now, I mean, that's probably a little unfair to rebut you on because I don't know and you've never mentioned it. But these are the things we have to be realistic. This is the things we have to look at. And I know you feel that Kyle Lautella should get a start, but I'm sorry, he hasn't. There's nothing that says I deserve to start. Now, if he had been a model citizen like Davis Webb and then doesn't go get a start, I believe that's wrong. But obviously, the kid has not shown enough. And I have enough trust in Pat Shurmur and Dave Gettleman to make that decision when that decision is right. And I'll tell you right now, he probably won't start week 17. Because if the trend from last week continues and the Eagles win this week and the Cowboys lose, the Giants will have something to play for week 17. And that's keeping the Dallas Cowboys out of the playoffs. So he still might not get a start next week. This is One Giant Rebuttal signing off. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe, and go Big Blue!